Hey, good morning everyone. Happy Friday. It's June 7th, 7:30 in the morning. Prices of BTC currently at 7,961. I'm going to post up this link here real quick in my groups and then we'll get started. Let me know what time zone you guys are from and if this is a good time for me to do my live videos. This is usually, first thing in the morning, so I like to get them done bright and early. Everyone gets a nice morning update, and then you know what to look for the rest of the day, what levels to look for. And let me just post these in a couple of groups that I'm a part of, and then we'll get started. There's my group right there. And what's everyone's plans for the weekend? All right, this one, let's see, I don't think I have the everyone tag. So on that group, can't tag everyone here either. Okay, I can tag everyone here, so we'll do this. And it looks like we did sort of break out of a descending channel just overnight, at least the US time zone overnight. So we'll take a look at that in just a second. Oh, whoops. All right. Awesome. Okay, I think that about wraps it up, folks. I think now we can get started. Okay, so let me know if you can hear the sound and everything the quality and everything is good. I can't really help the video quality because this is just how YouTube algo works. All right, so what we were looking at in terms of descending trend lines right here is this touch right here, another touch right here, another one right there, and then yesterday we were kind of flagging right before this trend line. So for the most part, the probabilities were actually on the side of this breaking to the downside, with a further lower low. But what really happened was we sort of just, once we had this big hammer wick right here, we moved up here, flagged sideways, and broke through. And remember how I've said that oftentimes when you do flag near resistance or even support, right? So for example, if price is trending down and it hits a critical support area, right? And price moves sideways, if it moves sideways enough, eventually it's going to just break down, okay? Same thing that happens with resistance. Oftentimes when price moves on up and it hits a critical level like this and it moves sideways, it's going to break right through. Okay, so that's kind of exactly what happened in this resistance right here too. Price broke through perfectly, now hit the next level of resistance, as you can see, which is actually these swing highs right here. This is actually two strong rejections of this this is the $8,050 area. And now it looks like we're pulling back again, but remember that if again we move sideways here, this thing is going to break up. Okay, so I was actually shorting this the other day. Let's see, or I think yesterday. So my short actually closed at a loss, okay, and I shorted it yesterday around 7,700 because remember, again, I stated that the odds were in my favor if I had shorted right near this descending trend line. Okay, this is how you need to short. Okay, you don't short when you're already down here. You short when you hit the next resistance level and price looks weak or statistically is in your favor to go down. Okay, you can never be sure if the price is going to break up or down. You just have to play based on probabilities of what's in your favor and what's not. And the probabilities were in my favor. Unfortunately, they didn't go my way, but that's okay. We only had a 3% loss and a pretty small trade at that. So for the most part, as I've stated before in our community, that you got to keep your losers small and your winners big, right? So over here, you can see that when we had a big trade right here, one had 20% of my trading capital, and I closed out the first 10% at 12% profit, the next 10% at 10% profit. So on average, I got 11% profit out of my 20% capital. Then I had a losing trade of seller, okay, which had a 5% capital, right? And I had a 4% loss on 5% capital. And then even over here, my short position right here, it had, I don't know, maybe close to like less than a 1% of my trading capital for a 3.1% loss, okay? So being able to position size and actually understand proper risk management is something that we teach in our community. And you can keep your losers small this way and your winners big, all right? So this is why people, when they look at our community, they see, you know, these losses like this, and they think that, oh, well, it seems like you're not doing any better. No, that's not the point. It's not that we're never going to have losers. It's minimizing your losers and maximizing your winners. All right. All right, going back to the chart, here we see a decent sized rejection right here of the 8,020, 8,050 region. I would probably say that at some point BTC is going to break through this area, but let's see exactly where prices are going to break through, okay? So let me first pull up a couple different charts here. All right, so first things first, let's see. There's so many different charts, it's hard to keep track of. Okay, I think it's this one right here. Nope, it's not even that one. Might be this one. This is my, okay, there we go. This is my BitMEX chart. So remember a couple days ago, I had stated that this is a big resistance point in Bitcoin, right? This point was touched right here, 2, 3 touches. Usually you need 2 touches to be able to define a trend line, or, you know, a resistance level. So it's 1 touch, 2 touch, 3, already validated. 4th touch even further validates it. All right, so now we're looking at the 5th touch as resistance. So if price climbs, the next big level of resistance is right around the $8,200 marker. This range right here will probably be anywhere between 81.80 to 82.50 depending on which exchange you're on. But remember that I pointed out this arrow maybe a day or 2 ago, and I stated that once we hit this bottom of this channel, right? So this was another channel that was being created. It starts off over here, 1 touch, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the channel is also validated. So now you need to see where the price is going to bounce up to. Probably to the top of the channel, which also lines up to this resistance block right here. Okay, so you have a confluence of 2 things, the descending parallel channel and this overhead resistance, okay? So there's probably a decent amount of supply waiting in this region right here. So the second best area to short probably is in this area right here. Okay, so you can wait for prices to hit this region, say on the daily, and to close under it, right? So if we look at the daily chart, if you wait for the prices to struggle and cannot break under this, you can open a short right there, place your stop a little bit higher into the 8300s, high 8300s, or low 8400s. Because statistically, I would be really surprised if prices sort of shoot up all the way like this and then come down again. I mean, unless it's like a one-off wick, right? I'd be really surprised if a daily closes up here and then the next daily is like a follow-through down candle. Okay, I don't think the bulls are gonna let go of their position so easily if they somehow close a daily above this marker right here and then get rejected literally the next day down like that. Okay, you have to be able to understand, you know, the not only the technicals of how levels stair step on the way up or down, but also how if I were a bull controlling the market, or a set of bulls controlling the market, which are the levels that you would want to defend? Well, statistically, the odds are in your favor that this level right here is a key factor that was holding price down, and then it was holding price up right here because it was support, because we bounced back again. And then once we broke through, you can see that we're rebounding at that same level, making a rounded retest like this, and probably going to hit this. And if we do, we'll break down further. Okay. Again, I don't really know if this is going to be the true resistance, but I'm saying the odds are in your favor that this area right here is more than likely going to be resistance on the first go around. Okay. I mean, if we break through just kind of like this, then this whole thing that has occurred so far is probably a big shakeout. And a lot of BTC was collected here, and the bulls are going to just drive the prices up to higher highs. And then we can definitely target our 10,000, 12,000 target region that we had, probably even higher. Okay. Let me see what other charts I had to show you guys. I just have a lot of different charts, so bear with me here. Okay, so here's something else that was statistically in our favor, right? So there's this touch right here, touch number 2 right here of this trend line, and touch number 3 was actually coming up. This entire move didn't even happen. So if, say, you sold off once this fan trend line broke, right? Remember I stated that when you start following trend lines, you get 2 touches of validation. So here's your first touch, your second, and your third right there. So 3 touches right there already validates this trend line. Once it broke through, you can see that price used that same trend line as resistance right there. So this is either your shorting opportunity or to let go of your entire position. Okay, price will always give you opportunities to either short or to close out your positions. Okay, you never need to sell on big down candles like that. Okay, there's always typically a reversal to the upside, even if it's small. Price will give you some indication that, hey, price is looking really weak, I can't even sustain this level, I'm going to go down further. Okay, or what will typically happen is something like this, where price will break down, hit a critical sideways resist or support level, bounce back up a little bit higher, looks even weaker, and then tumbles down. Okay, so just something to keep in mind, guys. And this is important for you to keep in mind because you're trading this market. You need to know these things. Okay, being able to understand and enhance your technicals knowledge is only going to benefit you in the long run if you truly want to make money in the market consistently. Okay, now going back to the smaller time frames, what I see is sort of this trading range that's really happening. I don't see anything other than this big sort of sideways movement. That's all we're really doing. Okay, let me see if I can make this a little bit more straight like that. All right, this is our trading range currently, anywhere between 8,050, let's just say, and down towards 7,450. All right, price staying above the EQ, the equilibrium of this trading range, is probably imperative for it to want to break up further. Okay, staying below this EQ right here will mean that it will statistically fall back to the bottom of this trading range and potentially down further. The odds are now in the favor of the bulls to be able to hold price up above 7,600 because they have done so for the last 3 days, technically 4 days. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and seems like the 4th day right here today, prices are actually ticking up a little bit higher. Okay, this big sort of I guess a long-legged doji or a hammer candle right here is a clear indication that a reversal is potentially taking place. How high the reversal may go will probably be reliant upon if this $8,200 level can break. Okay, that we just spoke about earlier. All right, let me see if I have any questions in the YouTube live session. I hope you guys are enjoying this analysis, guys. Give me a thumbs up. It really helps build viewership and subscriptions for our channel if you're watching this. All right, I still don't know what Kajutel is, Lambo Geek, so I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea. I'm good, Crypto Positive. What's going on, man? Jay Natty, what's up? Luke, what's going on? Umika's World, almost 5 p.m. here. I wonder where that is. Cal Kimball, what's going on, man? All right, can you look at QKC? Yes, that is actually on my list, and I will definitely do that. Let me get through my BTC analysis real quick, and then we can head towards alts. All right. One other chart that I wanted to show you guys that I showed you yesterday is this Pitchfork analysis, right? So again, if you want to learn how to draw pitchforks, you can come join our community, Cryptosomniac. There's a description link for our Discord channel. If you look at the bottom of this YouTube video, you can click on it and join. We have recently hired an awesome equities analyst too, and you can see that he does phenomenal work in the stock market channel. He's been very active and putting up a lot of statistics about different market sectors, how the overall stock market is trending. Again, this is for the United States. If you want him to do technicals on other markets, come join our community, and you can definitely ask Faisal, our new equities analyst, questions. All right. So yeah, we're deploying a lot of different resources for our community members, giving them as much content and information to make successful decisions. Because this is essentially a market that's you can always trade and make money in, right? The stock market or the crypto market. So whether you're a trader or not, or you're a long-term investor, it always helps to understand what's happening in the market, where you can make some side income, what you can do with your passive income, etc. Right? More knowledge never hurts. Okay. So anyway, going back to the Pitchfork analysis, what I did was I mapped out the Pitchfork from this bottom right here that we put in December to this top that we had on the wave 1 of the Elliott wave count, and then this bottom right here on the wave 2 bottom around February 8th. Okay, and that gives you a big range of fib levels on the way up. Each one of these colors you can see right here represents a unique Fibonacci level, and price tends to hover within the bounds of this Fibonacci range right here. So currently price actually bounced off this light blue line. The light blue is the 50 fib of the way this Pitchfork is going up at a 45-degree angle. So very positive sign, right? Now, if it gets past this area right here, which was previously support, right? So price bounced off here as support, which is the golden fib level, which is the 25% fib. It bounced here once, twice, 3 times, and then finally broke through. Okay, so now if it uses it as resistance on the way up like this, you can be sure that it will come down further. Okay. Oftentimes what happens with fibs, or just the way price action works, is you'll actually see price hitting certain resistance levels, and once it starts using a certain price level as resistance, you'll start seeing lower lows being put in. Okay, then it'll use the more bottom level again as resistance, and then I'll put another lower low. It's not guaranteed, but it oftentimes happens this way. Okay, especially given the fact that if we go back to the Elliott wave count. Let me see where my wave count is first. Let's draw it on a fresh chart. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off real quick. All right. I'd stated that in Elliott wave counts, you often have the wave 3 taking up a significantly more higher portion of the volume, okay, than wave 1 or even wave 5. But because BTC acts like a commodity, wave 5 can actually be the stronger wave in commodities. All right. Here's the Elliott wave count right there. Here's the volume. Okay. Volume you can see right here is far higher in the wave 3, right? A couple of green big bars right there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So a lot of good clean volume going into this wave 3 right here. Wave 4 retrace, if we bounce up, say on the $7,200 marker, right, then you have to map out a fib extension like this. Okay, so if wave 4 is supposed to end at this $7,200 marker, the 1.618 extension comes out to about 10,200. Okay, if we start doing higher extensions like the 2.618 or 3.618, these come out to much higher, 12,000 and then about 14,000. Okay, so again, wave 5 is typically a good size extension between the waves 3 and 4, right? And as I've stated, again, wave 5 can actually oftentimes be the strongest wave in commodities. And because Bitcoin acts more of like a commodity than equities, you can tend to assume that wave 5 could actually be pretty powerful and could take us to 12,000 or maybe even 14,000. That's if this is truly wave 4 and not like this, okay? Not like this being wave 3, this being wave 4 right here, and this being wave 5. But I'm fairly confident that I would say we're still in the midst of wave 3 like this, because a lot of volume is still contained in wave 3. Wave 4 cannot be that short. I would say wave 4 is supposed to be at the very least symmetrical in terms of time to wave 2. So remember, I stated that it took wave 2 about 46 bars, right? So if we drag the 46 bars starting from this bottom right here, that puts us somewhere in July, okay, for wave 4 to end, right? Not necessarily that it has to go the whole way, but even if it's halfway, right, say like 20 days or so, that still puts us in the middle of June, so around 10 more days from now, okay? And even on top of that, we saw a pretty big, doji on the weekly with a follow-through candle right here, which is bearish right there, right? I had stated that on the weekly chart and even the monthly, we saw a pretty big confluence of factors of the monthly and the weekly pivot, okay? So here's that monthly pivot right there. Let me put this on a 3-day chart. You could see that the monthly and weekly pivot currently reside around 8,050 or so, okay? So if price somehow closes above this level on the weekly chart, okay, here's the weekly right there, okay? If price closes above this level, right, so we have about 100 or so more dollars to go, and it's definitely possible. We have 2 days left in this weekly candle right here. Then I would be a little bit more bullish, because that would imply that no matter how much is thrown by the bears to suppress the price back towards 7,600 or below this pivot of the monthly and weekly, they're unable to close below this level. That would imply probably, a more sideways movement and then higher highs. All right. But again, you have to make sure that this level is actually closed above, and the daily candles are now starting to show you, more strength above that level we spoke about around 8,200s or so. Okay. Neither of which has happened. All we have to do is just wait and see. All right. So now you have levels to watch, 8,250 specifically. All right. Well, I just say that generally, stick between 8,180 and 8,250. All right. That'll be a pretty safe buy zone. All right. Whether you want to short or take long positions on the way up from there. I will now start looking at some alts. So here's QKC. This is Quark Chain for those of you who don't know. I was hoping that this big sort of cup was going to play out. It did not, and it actually failed to the downside. And then it basically used the same, bottom area as resistance in these candles, and then it fell down further. Okay. What I could say about Quark Chain is that, after hitting this critical level, it's had some false breakouts right here, as you can see, and I personally don't see anything in this to show me that it's warranting any strength to take a trade. What I really see is potentially this sideways accumulation that may be happening, but more or less, when you're down so much like this, guys, this can be a gamble. This is either accumulation or this is just distribution. Okay, distribution before more downside, right? If you go to the Wyckoff schematics that I've done, you can see distribution schematics like this, right? This one I did around May 26th for Bitcoin, okay? As you can see, you know, price moves almost in a sideways trending range oftentimes, right? And then eventually what happens is it creates lower and lower highs, trading in typically a fairly decent sized range, but then eventually it shows SOWs, which is the sign of weaknesses, the LPSYs, which is the last point of supplies, and then eventually it breaks down into phase E, okay? Phase E is usually the capitulation of this trading range, and I would say QuarkChain has either already done that or is going through that right now. But again, if you want to take a trade in this, what I would probably state to recommend as a trade, again, not investment advice, probably just, you know, wait above these two levels right here. There's clearly, you know, this wick hitting it right there and right there clearly shows that around 375 or so there's a decent amount of supply. Clearly there's a lot of sellers who are not wanting to let prices through here. So if you want to wait above this level, I would say your next big target from there would be a nice, you know, strong move from here to here. It's like a pretty sizable move, a 100% move, or even down here, which is like a 75% move. But for the most part, I don't really recommend, you know, buying here, because you really don't know if prices are going to move down further, right? What we've seen so far, which is very abundantly clear in the crypto market, is that whether BTC has been going down or up, alts are actually suffering huge losses in terms of, you know, their Satoshi pairs. So if Bitcoin goes up, the altcoin is actually losing Satoshi value, but it's retaining its US dollar value because, you know, Bitcoin is going up, right? If Bitcoin goes down, right, alts are now even lower in their US dollar value, and they're even lower in their Satoshi value, okay? So you lose both ways. So unless you're sort of investing in some of these projects for, I don't know, long stretches of time, like your long-term holds, I probably wouldn't want to trade in you know, swing trades like multi-week or multi-month trades. I would probably do scalps or, you know, intra-week trades. Like we finished off an intra-week, or not even intra-week, literally like an intra-hourly trade a few days ago. Where was it? I think it was the one trade right here. One hit, you know, obviously right here. This was literally within the span of 20 to 30 minutes, okay? I posted the trade literally at 12:35. Around 1 p.m. I closed it. So 25 minutes the trade closed at about nice, you know, 10 or 11% average gain, right? And you could see this all right here in our gains reviews, okay, guys? Not making this up. Nice 15% today. Quick scalps of 2% each time, and then it took no longer for 12% gain, 17% profit. Guys, all this is visible in the gains reviews channel. Not making this up. Not paying anybody to write these reviews, I promise you. I don't have time or the money for that. You can see right here, 7% profit on scalp trades. We actually have a trade setup channel where I post a lot of, you know, trade setups that could look like they're doing a lot better. XRP I actually put up as, you know, a trade setup. Again, none of this is financial advice, so I can just state that, hey, this looks good or this looks bad, right? So what I tend to do often is find some decent trade setups, and I state why exactly the chart is looking good. You know, if you want to consider entering, where you can get in. So here's XRP that I had posted as a trade setup. I said if it flips 0.407 right here yesterday afternoon as support, then it can move up towards 44 and 46, okay? So this wick right here was around the same time I was watching this, okay? So it flipped it as support, as you can see, right? Because XRP broke out of this this resistance right here, okay? So from here, this 407 marker right there, from here you're already up 3.5%, okay? Even if price came down right here and you close your trade, you just close a 3.2% trade, All right, that's less than 24 hours. Okay, if you're operating with, say $1,000, that's like, I don't know, 32 bucks right there. Okay, in less than 24 bucks. So I can guarantee you that, when we put up trade setups, although it's not financial advice, if you do happen to take these trades, more often than not, you're going to have your winners big and your losers small, and you can pay off easily the Cryptosomniac membership in less than 2 or 3 weeks of joining, guys. I mean, that's a guarantee, because we've had so many trades of so many people telling us that our membership is worth it. There's a reason why so many more members are joining. There's a reason why all these people are writing great things about us. All right, let's cover a couple more things. I covered the 5-wave count. I wanted to cover one more thing, which is within wave counts. Again, if you're part of the Cryptosomniac community, you'll see that you can learn how to do Elliott wave counts. Okay, so if this is a top of the wave count right here, within wave counts there are more wave counts. All right, so here's 1, 2, 3 right here, 4 might be coming up right here, and then the 5th wave right here. Okay, this is definitely a possibility and a probability that we may be in the middle of the 4th wave, but we're also creating a 5-wave structure within the 4th wave. All right, so when you have a 5-wave structure within the 4th wave, you may have to finish this 5th wave before you start that 5th wave of the intermediate, which is this one right here. So this is the sub-wave of the larger wave count. All right, sorry about all the confusing terminology, but again, come join the Cryptosomniac community, and you can have some information in the education channel right here. Okay, and you can check that out. All right. I had done this Wyckoff schematic, and one thing I wanted to show you is this consistent play that we've seen historically in other financial assets like the Nikkei, Tokyo Stock Exchange, where prices capitulated, hit a low, had a really sharp rebound, and then came back to retest their previous lows, had some sideways accumulation right here, and then then started their higher highs. Okay, so if we're looking at Bitcoin in the same manner, right, and we start saying that, okay, well, if this is truly where we are right now, right here, this top right here is this top right here, okay, we may have a bigger retrace to go. I'm not saying that it has to happen exactly where we go down and capitulate all the way again. It just means that a correction is due, okay? Whether it stops at 6,900 or all the way down to the mid 5s, or even down to this $4,000 level, I would say definitely a pullback is necessary, because we are far too overbought and overextended to the upside on many time frames. Okay. One interesting thing that I found yesterday on Reddit was this right here. I found this really fascinating, and this kind of just goes to show that the crypto space still has a lot of growth that we can sort of rely upon. Here are the yearly candles of Bitcoin. Okay, and each year you can see 2011 all the way through 2019, the amount of growth that each year has had. Okay, in 2016 125% growth, 2017 1300, 2018 obviously a bear market of 73% downside, and in 2019 we're up about 118% so far. So when you look at the yearly candles of BTC, you get some perspective of where the trend is going. Okay, it's a nice 45-degree angle that you see in any healthy stock market or any other financial asset. All right. Let me take one more question, and then I got to get going, folks. Thank you so much for watching, though, and you guys are always great. Let's see, thoughts on Elliott wave count on BLX monthly candles. It's really hard to do monthly candles on Elliott wave counts on monthly candles like this, but I've done it before, and I would say that if you're truly to do a Elliott wave count on this, it could be something like this, right? So if you're starting off your, here's your wave 1 right there, wave 2 retrace, here's your wave 3, wave 4 bottom, and this is your wave 5, okay? That's how I would probably say that wave count plays like that, okay? But remember that this is just a multi-year wave count, right? In Elliott waves, you actually also have something like this, where you can do wave 1 like this, which are the super cycle waves, right? Wave 2 right there. Wave 3 we could still be in the middle of wave 3, which might be starting off, or ending maybe in 2020 at some point, and then wave 5 even further all the way over here. Okay, this is just I state this because it's hard to mock up Elliott wave counts if you don't figure out how to do subwaves within larger wave counts. Okay, so I would say this is your super cycle wave count right here, right? So here's we can make it a grand super cycle, right? So if this is truly wave 3, we're not even technically done with wave 3. That might say that, Bitcoin could go up to 35,000 or 50,000 and then pull back all the way to 20 or 25K again, somewhere over here. And then the wave 5, again, people say that it could go closer to, 500,000 or something ridiculously high, right? I have no idea if that's ever going to happen, but for now, if this is truly the wave count, we're experiencing, potentially the ABC corrective wave, okay? Kind of like this, all right? So here would be the top of the wave 5. This is your wave A. Wave B might be, say 12 or 13,000. Then wave C will probably go deeper, closer to 2,000 or, 1,000. And then you might start, your next wave count, which might take you, further towards higher highs, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Something, I'm just drawing this just as a general outline, okay? But you get the picture, all right? So anyway, I hope that helps in understanding how Elliott waves work. If you do come join our community, the Elliott wave video that I did is available to all the Advantage members in the education channel. All right, and I have an entire course I did on technicals, tons of other books and information in this education channel. I don't think we're short of education in our community, but we do a lot more teaching than trying to just tell you what to do or what not to do, because we want you guys to make smart and wiser decisions for yourself and your capital, okay? I think that wraps it up, folks. I'm going to get going. Thank you for watching. Thanks for always being an awesome audience. Give us a thumbs up. Leave me a comment of what your thoughts are, where you see this Elliott wave count. Do you really think that we're in the 4th wave, or do you think that we're actually potentially going to be starting the 5th wave, or we finished the wave count and we're going to go much lower? Okay. I definitely like to hear from, what you guys are thinking. So leave me your thoughts and let me know what exactly you're thinking, and I will talk to y'all soon. All right, take care, cheers, and have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend.